So I'm out in the garden and it is time to plant garlic. So I wanted to give you an idea of what that looks like for me. This is the bed where my summer squash were. We did get a light freeze, and while a lot of things survived the squash, the last bits of green squash did not. And so I clipped them at their bases. They are now in this compost pile. And then I put a layer of finished compost on top of, so there was this straw, that was mulch for the summer squash. I raked that out of the way. The cardboard helps just keep the weeds down and keep my borders defined. And I put a layer of finished compost on top of that bed, and this is where all my garlic is going to go for the coming year. So I don't remember if I talked about it or if I even knew at that point when I did the video about the losses during the heat wave, but one of the most long-lasting and devastating losses is that I lost my entire garlic crop except for my elephant garlic. It was curing, and it got so hot where it was curing that it cooked it, which effectively killed it. So I lost several hundred bulbs of garlic, which would have included my seed garlic for this year. I have never had to buy seed garlic before. I got my first several cloves from another gardener, and then I saved cloves for seed garlic every year since then. And last year I actually saved a huge portion of what I grew and planted, I think 300 cloves. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I don't like somewhere between 200 and 300. It was a lot. And so it was a kind of a hard loss to lose that much garlic, but that's how it goes. So I have purchased some garlic. If you are a gardener, you know that most websites, most places that sell garlic are out of seed garlic right now, or if you can buy it, it's very expensive. However, there's a workaround, an easy workaround for this, and let me show you. So these 3 bags contain 3 different bulbs of garlic. These 2 one's a soft neck, one's a hard neck, and they were purchased from a farmer at my local farmer's market. And then this has a different variety of hard neck garlic in it, and it was purchased at one of my local favorite garden centers called Blooming Junction. And these were being sold as garlic to eat. They weren't being sold as seed garlic. Y'all, it doesn't make a difference. The garlic that you eat is seed garlic. It's the same thing. So I picked out big, beautiful bulbs, and these will become my my seed garlic. And the guy at the farmer's market he knew what I was doing with them. He said, "Are these to eat or to grow?" And I said, "Oh, they're to grow." And he's like, he told me, "You're gonna like these." So let me show you what I do with them. Hopefully the background noise isn't too bad. We still have construction noise going on, but I'm gonna take this and just push down on it. It's a little bit awkward because my camera's in the way. Let me see if I can still do it. I'm gonna have to do it off camera. I need it closer to my body. Okay, so I just push down on it like with direct, and it comes apart like this. This is the soft neck variety, and you can tell because there are more cloves and there's no center stalk. And I'll show you a hard neck. But so this, I don't really need to do anything to these. You can, if they're like, these are dry, they're cured, they're ready to go. It smells like I might have broken one, but I don't feel it. It doesn't make that much difference. So soft neck garlic is going to have a few more cloves in it because it doesn't have its center stalk, so you get the little ones too. And normally I see a recommendation that you choose the biggest. You can see this is a big one and this is a small one. And you plant those, but because I lost all of my seed garlic, I'm going to plant all of them. So I will get from this one bulb, I'll get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 plants. So I crushed this second one, and sometimes when you're crushing them, you break a clove, and I'll just take that inside and cook with it. So that one I won't put in the ground. I figured out if I turn my camera, then I'll be able to get close to it, and you can see. That's all I do. None broken that time. And there's the soft garlic all broken up. The soft necked garlic all broken up. I did break 4 cloves, so that's pretty good. There are 70 cloves here for me to plant, and each one will grow into a head of garlic. This is what's left over, and it kind of makes a mess. That's why I do it outside. Now here's one of the hardneck garlics. You can tell it's a hardneck because it has this neck. And I didn't show them side by side, but this is it's a little bit bigger than the soft neck garlic. And here's the hard neck broken open. You can see the center neck. This is what grows into a scape in the spring, just before they're ready to harvest, which would eventually put out a flower. However, I always harvest my scapes. Okay, so here is the hard neck. By the way, this is an Italian hard neck. I have never known what variety I've been growing because I got my original seed garlic from another gardener, but since this time I do know this is an Italian hard neck, but the soft neck, I can't remember what the variety is. And I bought it from the farmer's market, so it's not marked anywhere. Anyway, so there were 62 cloves yes. So there were 62 cloves in the 6 heads of garlic. So just a bit fewer than were in the soft neck. But the cloves tend to be, well, they're more varied in size because there's some that are like real tiny and some that are big, where the soft neck were more uniform in size. This makes your hands very dirty. So they are more variable in size. This will not grow a big head of garlic. This will. But it's still, for me, it's still worth throwing them all in the ground. Okay, and the last variety I have is another hard neck. So you can see it has the neck right there. And this variety is called Deerfield. I just wanted to show you, isn't that a pretty color when the outer paper is taken off, and then it's just a beautiful purple. Okay, just noticing some differences in the varieties. So this was 8 bulbs instead of 6, and there are 110 bulbs here. So this Deerfield had a few more cloves per bulb. Also, none of them broke, so they were a little bit more sturdy. And I really am just enjoying this beautiful purple color. Again, like the other hard neck garlic, the clove sizes were quite variable. Some really small ones, some really big ones. So I need to go inside and make dinner now. Clean my dirty hands first. But I will get these garlic in the ground hopefully tomorrow, maybe the next day. We'll see both what the weather and our schedule look like. But yeah, go get them in the ground. I'll show you what that looks like before I end this video. It's a few days later and there's a break in what has been a very rainy week. And so I am out planting some more garlic, and I want to show you. I'm at a place where I think it's a nice place to show you what I'm doing. So let's do that. Oh, but first I wanted to point out that October 22nd in Oregon, in the Willamette Valley, is not too cold to be gardening in flip-flops. Very important. Okay, let's take a look at the garlic bed. So this is what it looks like now. So in this first part, I have planted the first hardneck garlic. This was the summer squash patch. I removed the plants. They are composting. Covered it with a layer of compost, which is what you see now. This section in front of the first bamboo pole is the first set of garlic that I planted. I planted it in a checkerboard pattern, which you can see here, which is basically how I plant almost everything. And then covered it with another layer of compost and a layer of straw. So this is the soft neck garlic between the two middle bamboo poles. And I think you can see that. You can see that I have just basically made a small hole and put it down in there. I haven't recovered it. That is so I can see and get the pattern from where I want, like, easier. And I am not actually going to cover them with the compost that's there. I'm going to put another layer of compost on top of that. It's sitting right there. And then a layer of straw over the top of that. And that's it. That's how the garlic gets planted. And I will not touch it again till the spring, where it possibly may need some weeding. Garlic does not like to have competition. So it will probably need to be weeded, and I will probably put more straw on it in the early spring. And that's it. Garlic is, after you get it in the ground, it's very low maintenance. I've used up a little more than half of my bed, which is great. The last hardneck garlic is I have a little bit more than half. I may not fit it all in this bed, and that's okay. I'll put it in some of my, I'll either tuck some into some other beds, or I will put it in the crates. All right, and there is the last of it put in. I actually did have plenty of room with even just like a little bit left over that I might put some onions in later. And there we go, all done. Garlic planted for the 2022 year. So that's one major fall job finished. And there's still a lot to go. I did quite a bit more work in the garden today. I'll show you that on the next garden tour. Talk about some of the other things that other fall jobs that need to be done, and preparation for spring in addition to the winter garden. If you saw my last video, I wanted to show you one more thing to come out of my garden. I just keep thinking that there are no more flowers to be had in every couple of days that we don't have frost. My garden just gives me just enough more for a bouquet. It took a good walk around, but There's still zinnias blooming. This is probably the last of the sunchokes, but there's still calendula and a few marigolds and plenty of fennel. And then these, like the feathery things, are the asparagus ferns that are ready to be cut back. So I thought I'd throw them in there. I will talk to you next time.